This episode contains spoilers and swearing. Joyo Noel. Ho, 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 my little Argonauts, and welcome to the Book of Noel, our charming little offshoot from the regular podcast Book of Note, hosted by Conal, Deeney and Joe Deeney, and we've brought along two festive friends. That's right, it's Sazzie, Kluvitse and Lizzy Deeney.
Hello.
All right.
Hello.
Oh, we are tight mates now. Yeah. So, yeah, we've got another little Christmas film for you. It's called A New York Christmas Wedding. It can be found on Netflix, deep in Netflix. You have to really sift past all the good stuff and you eventually get to A New York Christmas Wedding. It is something else. It's not like any other film we've reviewed so far, but me waxing idiotic about this synopsis is not important at all. We're going to go to a professional about what on earth is going on with this film. That's right, it's Lizzy with her synopsis.
In New York City, there are 8 million people, each with their own love story.
I mean, I have to say, I have a very limited understanding of what is going on with this film, but I believe it's a wonderful gay life. So Jennifer is getting married to David. He's a man with really wealthy parents who live in a tiny apartment, but drink from martini glasses, so we know that they're rich. She's visited by a mysterious angel and she's offered a chance to experience a different timeline. It's one where her childhood BFF didn't die. Also, her dad is still alive. I don't know whether that's related.
Yeah.
But he's there. And Chris Noth from Sex and the City is a priest. And she has to choose between these two lives in what is possibly the least equally balanced choice of all time.
Marvelous. You did an excellent job of describing a film that doesn't have a story. But it doesn't have one. Just some stuff that happens. But Conal, can you please give us our inverted world version of the story with your conopsis?
Conopsis! This is the great Bully Bullseye movie showing you exactly what you could have won. It's your classic have your cake and eat it, go back in time and have all the missed shags you never had kind of story, you know. It's like A Christmas Carol, but instead of growing, the main character just fucks off her entire life to live an alternative version of her own life. I mean, hindsight's a wonderful thing, but this is like hindsight on steroids. I love that kind of phrase. It's good, isn't it? Where your guardian angel can literally tailor your life to exactly how you want it. Or you love someone, she's dead, bang, she loves you and she's alive now. Oh, your dad's dead, he's alive now. Don't worry about it. The guardian angel, Azrael, is the ghost of Christmas missed shags and wants everyone to never miss a single one ever, even if the person you want is actually dead. And even if it means he will cease to exist. He will happily kill himself to fulfill your dirty wishes. So the last we are following is marrying a man with a piece of shit mum who forces her to go for a run in New York in the middle of the night. You know, the city that never sleeps where there's only 3 people on the street and one of them gets hit by a car. She witnesses a man getting knocked down by an SUV, which is a nice American phrase, and he's absolutely fine. He doesn't get a graze on him, not even a dirty little shirt. And she just like accepts that. She even questions it. She goes, "Oh, you haven't got a mark on you." And he goes, "Yeah, I'm blessed." And then she's like, "All right, yeah, you must be." I'd be questioning it more than that. And this guy just changes her life and makes her wake up in bed with a completely different person and a dog. She has 48 hours to decide if she wants the old life back or the new life. In that 48 hours, she changes her sexual orientation and doesn't miss a beat and gets married in 2 days. There's a priest called Father Mr. Big, and the local priest flip-flops on his stance on homosexuality throughout the whole film. At first, he's kind of for it, but his boss is not. And then the Pope ain't down with it, so, you know, he can't do it. But then the Pope goes, "Yeah, it's all right, actually." So he goes, "Yeah, all right." Then the guardian angel throws a spanner in the works and comes across as the actual bad guy for a bit, where he's like, "No, you've got to choose. I'm going to be a proper dick about it now. I've forced this weird thing upon you, and now you've got to choose between a man who's never wronged you and this new woman that you've just married." So, you know, It's fucking mental. And in the end, she goes for the woman, and the guardian angel's all right with that. And he has no ulterior motive other than like his own mother's happiness.
Oh, well, that made more sense than watching the film in real time. So thank you for that, Conal. But yeah, was it what everyone expected?
No.
No.
I don't think it's what anyone expected, even the people making it.
Yeah, quite. It's a funny old film, isn't it? It's really, well, I say funny, I mean that not in the ha-ha sense, because it ain't funny. Because for the first like 5 minutes, it looks completely different to all the other films we've done. It's quite, the color gradient's really low. It's got a shaky camera. It's like Paul Greengrass filmed Emmerdale. It's got a really low rent. And I was thinking, watching the first 10 minutes, thinking, this isn't bad. It's not great.
Yeah.
It's okay. And the story kicked in, and it did get bad. But yeah. So we've had the plot. I mean, we start off in Queens.
Nice.
Yeah. What do we think of that opening thing where the young versions of, what are the names? Gabriella and Jenny.
Yeah.
They're meant to be decorating a tree and drinking eggnog, and they have an argument.
I mean,
What the hell's
before we
going on?
even get to that, my favorite bit of the film, and this is right at the beginning, is that it's presented by a company called Conglomerate Media. That's my favorite thing.
I didn't notice that. That's brilliant.
And you couldn't get any better. After that, that's it. All downhill.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's like an evil corporation in Knight Rider, you know.
It's like delusions of grandeur, I think. But I don't know. It's all I made this note because I made about 4 notes because after this I just couldn't focus on anything. But why is like Gabby ditching her best mate for Pete Davidson's even skeevier looking cousin? Like,
yeah,
what is that? And he's like, oh, shall we do it? Oh yeah, okay then. Like, listen, I've been a teenage girl. I've had the pressure put on. You know, it took a bit more than that, especially if I potentially thought that I might be gay. Like,
yeah.
Because that's it. I mean, the central, I suppose, tenet of the film, I won't say thread because there is no fucking story in this film, but it's that she's in an awkward, like, non-communicative relationship with a gentleman. His parents are really pushy. They're pushy for a Christmas wedding, which apparently for her is the worst thing ever. Then Conal mentioned the bike accident. I mean, I have watched enough of these shit films to know he was an angel before I even saw his face. Of course you're an angel. You're dressed in white.
You're riding a white bike.
And she is in a bizarro world where friend dying, you know, they have the altercation. She ends up sleeping with this guy instead of decorating the tree with her. Her friend dying is not explored at all. Oh yeah, and she died too. Okay then.
Yeah. Oh no, but you find out at the end that she had an abortion. Well, she didn't have an abortion. She got sent to a single lone mother's home, had a stillborn, and then walked out into traffic. Like that was the explanation of the death.
I didn't even remember that.
That's that's when the church administrator who didn't remember her name.
Yeah,
her full name. When she said, "Oh yeah, Gabby." Oh, Gabby, yes.
Yeah, she needed to see a picture of her before she remembered her. Like, oh yeah, Gabby, my best friend.
Office.
Yeah.
Oh, that's you, is it? Oh, I had this up here.
And also, that wasn't her picture. That was the picture of the old priest who got sacked for liking gay people too much.
Yeah.
So why was that still there? Like,
it'd be weird to move it.
Why didn't he clean up his desk?
Why didn't he take it with him? Who has a picture of strangers in their office?
Especially strangers who died like tragic deaths.
Exactly.
Well done, Catholic Church. Keep up the good work.
She's just like, oh, I thought this came with the frame. I thought it was so pretty.
And if that old lady knew Gabby and Jenny also went to that church her whole life, how come she didn't know her?
I think the term "how come" is rendered redundant with this piece of shit film. It's
so strange because you say there's no story, but so much stuff happens in it.
Exactly. It's just some things that happen.
we know why her dad dies and why he isn't dead when she's gay?
Because
I didn't get that
gayness
myself.
cures heart conditions. I didn't know.
I think
But why did
her
her mum not survive? Why did they
That's
not
another
go?
question.
Your mum's
Yeah.
back now as well. Why
Why
not?
didn't she go back further in time before her
Yeah.
mum died?
Yeah.
But then, if you're going to do that, I mean, the upshots of this gift she's been given, couldn't she go back to Germany, 1933, and stop Hitler getting into power? You know what I mean? It's like, what? It's quite a selfish use of this power, I think. You know, you could stop a lot of horror. But no,
I
I want to be happy in myself.
I'd have to say, I'd go and redo my GCSEs. I don't think I'd be going back in time to solve any international conflicts. I'm sorry. If my guardian angel is listening, I'm only saying that for a joke. I actually definitely would.
I'd go back and tell my 13-year-old self, stop combing your hair so hard. Okay?
Oh,
No!
Leave it. I've made a lot of ball jokes in this. I'm really milking that.
You really have.
Oh, wait while we talk about the holiday.
There are themes in every film you watch. We'll talk about Christmas films for the themes because It's a Wonderful Life even says the theme. Let's face it, that this is It's a Wonderful Life is the film that this is kind of loosely based on, which is dangerous because that film's great. But Clarence writes it to George. He says, "No man is a failure who has friends." And then Home Alone has a theme, which is, families might be a bit crummy, but it's always worth fighting for them.
Nice use of the word crummy.
Mate,
I didn't think I'd hear that. It's lovely.
But the theme of this film seems to be gay. It's nice that I'm delighted that we've got inclusion like this in a usually quite a conservative genre, but it's not a theme. That's just again
you're right,
something that happens to happen.
Because all that she learns, she already knew. Like
Yes.
they have this fight, and the fight is the pivotal moment that kind of apparently causes everyone to die.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a lot
Even
of
that
fights
dog.
as a teenager with my friends, and thankfully they were fairly quickly remedied. But that's the theme, and she already regrets that. She feels awful about that. She's kind of haunted by that. And then this angel turns up and is like, "Shouldn't have had that fight,
Yeah.
That
Bad
fight
times.
was bad." And
Yeah,
she's
bad
like,
times.
"Yeah,
I know.
yeah."
Because
I loved her, and now she's dead.
Yeah. He
and
presents her with an ultimatum, doesn't he? At the end, she's been in this, what does he call it? Alternate universe, he describes it as, in which no one's died and she's got the relationship with the friend from before. Yeah. Dad's alive. They're about to get married. And then
Don't forget,
her out of it. Go on.
He reveals his identity as well, doesn't he?
Yeah.
That's the best bit for me. That when he reveals who he is, I had to pause the film and go, like, what the fuck? what am I watching now? What's just happened? So his identity is...
Jennifer, you should know that I am the deceased child of Gabrielle and Vincent.
What?
What's his name? Azrael Gabison, he calls himself, which is Gabby's son.
Clever. If you think about it, it's
10 out of 10.
Clever. Yeah.
And also, you said that the theme was gay, and he's obviously a gay angel because he says "girl."
It says
a
"girl."
lot.
He was this far
much.
away from going "yes, queen."
Girl.
It was so.
It's like,
It's
you
how
are
do we
living,
let
and I
everyone know
mean
that he's
living.
gay? It was
Oh,
so
man.
patronizing. Oh. And the angel, oh God, I tell you what, he might be looking over Jenny all her life and protecting her, but he didn't have time to go to any acting classes, did he? That angel, bloody hell.
I will explain, but right now, yes, this is your home.
But I think they were all pretty bad. There was no chemistry between any of the characters,
Yeah,
like
you're right.
Jenny and David at the beginning, and and because later in the film she goes back and enters this gay relationship with Gabby. Did she have no choice in the matter? Is that what the film is implying, that she had no chemistry with David because she wasn't actually attracted to him at all, which is a really horrible setup for any kind of film. And the same with Gabby and Vince, who is the father of her angel baby. Like, it just seems a lot of like, hey, women, don't sleep with men, or only do it because you're traumatized and they're pressurizing you. And it just mean, yeah, that is, fairly accurate, but but I don't know if the film needed to say that.
Yeah, I don't think it's as progressive as it wants to be or thinks it is, because essentially she's been through this bizarro world. She comes back to the normal world and has to sort some things out. And Israel Gabrielson, sorry, it still makes me laugh, gives her the ultimatum of either you can stay in this normal Act 1 world where, you don't like your in-laws, you're going to get married on Christmas Eve, even though you did that in the other world as well, and that was fine.
Yeah, it's fine in the other world.
Yeah, fine in the other world. This one's the problem, though. Either you can stay here, and I'll be alive, says the guardian angel, or I could take you back to the place that I showed you, this kind of, imagination world, which you're really, really happy. Your dad's alive, but me as the guardian angel, I will die, but I'm cool with that. And she kind of goes, I'll go back. No, I'll go back.
Yes,
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. A guardian angel's kind of...
But, you sure?
But then you see him on the Christmas tree at the end.
He turns into a bauble.
He turns into a bauble, guys.
What does he say? Something like "love hard" or something. Love sexy.
Love.
I can't remember what he said, but he said
Angel
something.
Music, baby.
I think love sexy, was it?
Yeah. Love sexy, mum.
Yeah.
It's such a weird, because then there's no other in the bizarro world. There's no other element of her life other than she's in love with her best friend and her dad's alive. But at least in the real world, she had a job. She'd originally worked for a massive tech company or Goldman Sachs or something, and then left to go and become the world's softest vet.
It doesn't get any easier.
His owners should have been here to say goodbye.
And at least she had some life outside of her outside of her romance. But then the perfect world for her is not having a job and wearing her best mate's leather trousers.
And having a dog. And a dog that she's perfectly happy to leave in the flat with a lit candle. That was pet ownership, wasn't it?
That dog confused me because at the start, she walks the dog. She's out walking the dog and then bumps into her dad, who then does that thing of giving her a lift and going, sorry, I'm a cat person. The dog's not coming in the car. The dog's nowhere to be seen. He gives her a lift, takes her home. She's without dog. She gets into the flat and the dog's in there.
Yeah.
This dog like a homing pigeon or something.
And then when they get back from church, the dog is at her dad's house. How did that happen?
Yeah.
Dog continuity between this and the holiday. Dog continuity is all over the shop.
Yeah. Never work with animals. You never know where they'll turn up.
I thought the casting in this was fabulous because who am I going to hire as a celibate moralizer priest? A man who's known in Sex and the City for having a big dick. Yeah, that'll do it, won't it?
I mean, he created my favorite scene in the whole thing, which is where he flip reverses. He's like, actually, gays are fine. It's Christmas, gays are fine. And he comes in and he's doing the Christmas sermon. And then he just goes, right, I want these people to come up. He names a bunch of the congregation and they all come up. And he's like, I've counselled all of these people about being gay. And it's like, oh, okay, did you check that they wanted to? Even if
I'm
they're
not
already
out yet.
they may not want to be the centre of a sermon.
But that's
assuming they're out.
Yeah.
That's an awkward walk back to your pew, isn't it? Oh, Mum, we've got to talk.
I've counseled every single person on this altar, and I can tell you, they are not broken.
Gay Bobby, lesbian Rita, bisexual Billy, come up to the front.
Yeah, you're married to a woman, and you have sex with men, and I'm fine with that. Come up. It's just
get some communion. Come on.
Also, that is an incredible turnout of gay people to a Catholic service.
Right?
That is well done. How diverse.
Also, the kind of implication is, until today, I really didn't welcome you here. Now I'm cool with it. Do come up, have some bread.
Yeah.
You've been turning up your whole life, and I've been a bit sick in the back of my mouth, but now I've decided, welcome. We welcome you all. And then he performs the surprise gay wedding, and none of the congregation have any other plans on Christmas Day. They're all like, cool, we'll just stay here for the next 5 to 6 hours.
It's very odd because
food come from like so many questions.
Because they made that point about the wedding, you know, when David and Jenny were supposed to have their Christmas Eve wedding. She made that point that it's selfish because people have other places to go.
Yeah, forget it.
But maybe not in Queens. Maybe only in Manhattan people have other places to go.
Maybe not as a surprise.
What I liked about her, so she doesn't want a Christmas wedding in the real world, and then in imaginary land, Christmas wedding's fine, but in imaginary land, sure, her best friend who was dead is alive again, and her dad who was dead is alive again. But she's still got all their memories, so she'll be like freaking out, like, I've seen you die, like I've life without you being alive, and I bet she's got like mental problems after this wedding, this life that she's chosen. She's like, fucking hell, my dad's gonna die one day, and it hurts. It really hurts.
Well, I think that's why she wouldn't let him have a shot. You know, she was like, "Oh, Daddy, your health." You know,
like,
that'll save him. Just one shot.
Oh yeah, don't have any wine. What? Don't have any wine.
It's his house. I bought the sodding wine.
My Christmas wine,
my house, and I don't care what you think. What do you mean
I'm
going to die of a heart condition? You don't know.
You don't know. And I raised both of you like sisters, and now you're in a relationship together, which is a bit Pornhub, I have to say. I know they loved each other before, but then maybe I guess in the new world she won't get pregnant, so her parents won't throw her out.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll just throw her out for being gay. Who knows?
They did though, didn't they? Because the brother says that at the wedding. You know, he says, you know, Mum and Dad do love you. They're just
but she'd been pregnant. But now that they've gone back in time and she didn't stay at Vince's house and have sex with him to conceive Azriel Gabberson, maybe her parents won't kick her out.
Imagine people who haven't seen this film, who are just watching this video. This must be insane.
It is insane.
The thing is, it's not that insane. Like, it's so boring. Like, there's so much happens and so much of it is fantastical and weird. And we can probably talk about it for 2 hours and still not come to the end of anything. But it's not that weird. It's really boringly executed.
It's not bad considering I picked it just because I thought the title was funny, because I just thought it was a title conceived with the idea of SEO. I didn't expect any of this. I washed my hands of it. And my concern is that she doesn't even really love Gabby. She's just like, oh, I want my dad back and I've got a dog, so and double wardrobe. Like, there's so many perks that come with Gabby that aren't necessarily Gabby.
Gabby's a bit annoying.
You could not want her to be dead. Like, I don't know. Like, if my best friend had died and it was like, well, either you can have her back in your life, but you need to be in a romantic relationship with her, I'd say, yeah, I'll do that, because like I want her not to be dead. It doesn't feel like a very fair balance.
And then what she says to her at the end, she's like, oh, we're going to get married on Christmas Eve and I'm going to wear a red dress. I was like, you haven't even been on a date yet. Calm down. You're the world's pushiest teenager. What's the difference between you and Vince at this point? You need to relax.
She could earn a lot of money at the bookies from now on. Yeah, she'll remember who wins the Super Bowl, because it's
exactly.
I remember that. Put it all on the Atlanta Falcons. What
she should have said is, yes, I'll go back in time, but Azriel Gabberson, please can I have a sports almanac?
But that scene in the future, or the alternate world where they see Vince, that was my favorite bit, because that had some kind of narrative, I suppose. You're a prick in the past and you're being a prick still. Bang, have some of that. Beautiful. I like that bit.
Gabby loved all that.
That's the only time she smiled in the whole bloody film.
And she kept saying, oh, what's got into you? So I was like, okay, so what is Jenny like in this universe then? Has she got no chutzpah? Has she got nothing about her? So they're so surprised that, you know, suddenly she's fighting this Vince guy. Or, you know, did she get all that from the modern world? And nothing, but then no explanation. No explanation.
Nothing gets tied up. It also had the only sex scene in any of the films we're doing here, which anyone who hasn't yet watched The Holiday, I'm sorry about that. But anyone who hasn't watched Christmasland yet, I'm sorry about that. But
I could have done with a sex scene.
What, on the sleigh in the barn? With the red coat on.
Just foreplay, just tinsel laced foreplay.
But, it does have a sex scene, and weirdly, it's one of the very few times in films where I felt, well, the narrative kind of, it wasn't totally unnecessary, is what I'm saying. It felt kind of, well, that first sexual, it wouldn't be their first time they've done it, but for her it would be. So that, I thought it was interesting, a sex scene in a Christmas film.
What did we all think of the husband character? Well, he wasn't a husband, fiance character in the real world. I liked him. I thought he was a nice guy. He did nothing wrong, did he? Yeah, he was. I liked the scene where he went, I won't let her bully me around anymore. You know, she can't push me around. I'll tell her to back off, and I'll just let you push me around instead.
What I did notice about him is, despite the fact that he's heir to a Fortune 500 company and clearly went to good schools and universities, he still doesn't know not to drink while he's got food in his mouth. That immediately put me off.
His parents live in student halls. Guys, you're minted. Like, I think as well, it was kind of aiming for the tension. I think it's slightly hard to say where the tension was meant to be, but I think it was meant to be that she was really gay and she hadn't kind of come out in the actual world. But like when she did in various iterations of worlds, there was like no tension. I mean, I guess you could say that the Catholic Church was, mulled it over for 2 days. And I know she was religious, so I guess that's kind of an impact. But really, like, her dad was like, oh, cool. Yeah, great. Like there was no, and I didn't feel, so I guess the tension should have been within her, but we didn't really see that either. She was like, no, I love this woman. That's just the person I love. And then everyone was like, oh, happy days. Fine. Yeah. You do you.
Yeah, and she even says to David at the end, he said, oh, do I need to be worried? Well, why would you worry? She's dead. Like, no. But I mean, you do, but you didn't know there was an angel around. But then she says, no, she was just my first love and I love you. So she's,
stringing him along.
Or she's bisexual and she's fine. And, and none of this really needed to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I will say it in its favor. I will say, like, it was very ambitious, and I don't think many people push the envelope with Christmas films, and there's probably a good reason for that. But they did try and cover like the gay marriage debate and teenage death and miscarriages and living in the closet and
the priest with a big dick.
It was it was a lot of stuff, and it didn't work. But I'm like, good for you. Like, you're trying to make a point of some sort that I've clearly missed, but you tried.
They chased 16 rabbits and lost them all. But rabbits are nice. So
it's not about catching them, it's about running around having a laugh.
Isn't that our old university motto? Rabbits are nice. It's not about catching them. It's having a laugh. It's a very inside joke.
It's in Latin though, right?
All right. So if you watched that as well, sorry. The next one is a little bit more on topic, but I don't know if we have as much to talk about, but nevertheless, it is The Mighty Christmasland. And then after that, we've got one of the most important films ever created, The Holiday. So keep viewing. We can't wait to have you back. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, all that nonsense. Say goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
And we'll see you really soon. Thanks a lot.